So, fucking Kanye West.
I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me.
The now infamous White Lives Matter t-shirts, Ye debuted at Paris Fashion Week earlier this month.
Come get me. That's fucking retarded.
I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. They hit him with the fentanyl.
When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
I was contemplating whether or not to do a third Kanye video, but like, I can't imagine making a real full-on video just about Kanye's fuckery. Because one, it's well documented. There's not a lot of like analysis to do. There's no research to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just an ongoing downward spiral. And I really just don't have much else to say except for like, fuck Kanye. Fuck Kanye. Like two different inflections of fuck Kanye. Fuck Kanye and fuck Kanye. Cause it hurts. It's disappointing. Y'all know how I feel. This is one of my favorite rappers. This is one of my favorite figures of my early adulthood. And I don't feel like I ever defended Kanye. Like I hope that was like what came across. It's hard to say. What I was trying to defend is why people still had hope for Kanye, why people still wanted to stay connected to what Kanye's legacy was. But the reality is, I don't think there's any reason to have hope left. I don't think there's any reason to be hopeful about Kanye's future. Kanye's music hasn't been good in a while. Donda was bad. Are we ready to admit that Donda 1 was bad? Let alone Donda 2. I never heard Donda 2, but everybody, all the media I've consumed around Donda 2 says that it was unfinished and not good. Donda 1 was not that good. When he lost Ron Fest, when he lost Big Sean, Kanye's rhyming, his lyrical skills have not been great. He's always been good with melodies, and what you'll see like Kanye on Donda especially, Kanye spends like lots of times just like he spent a lot of time just mumbling melodies. He hit that in the documentary and realizing that that's Kanye kind of comes up with his music is he'll come with the melody first, and his melody game is still top tier, but like he's not making good music anymore. The music itself is alright. There's a couple of tracks on Donda that are good. The rest of them are meh, and some of them are bad. And then like some of the lyrics, I will never forgive him for Hurricane with Lil Baby and The Weeknd and Kanye. Lil Baby spits a dope verse. The Weeknd is doing his thing. And then Kanye comes in, and Kanye been rapping about how nobody likes him for like 3 albums. Like Kanye's last 3 albums are him rapping about why nobody likes him, and then saying the things in his raps that makes nobody like him. I'm tired of hearing about it. And so the Hurricane verse is why nobody likes him. I'm not a good husband. My wife wants a divorce. And then like the worst bars of the 2020 so far, everybody's so judgmental. Everybody's so judgmental. Everybody hurts, but I don't judge rentals. I gotta make you small on the screen for that, Kanye. The worst bars since he had the chorus where close on Sunday, you my Chick-fil-A, scoopity poop.
Whoopity scoop, scoopity whoop, whoopty scoopty poop.
Robert Shields, no, I don't have much hope for redemption arc for Kanye. I just don't. Because getting away from the fact that the music is bad, T-Lop is overrated. I'm tired of arguing with y'all about this. It's overrated. Because T-Lop is when he started not making finished music. You can tell. You can tell because the way T-Lop came out was unfinished. You can tell because the songs have so much like dead air. I will never forgive Kanye before all the bullshit. My first like strike against Kanye was this nigga put Andre 3000 on a track and just had that nigga hum. Inventor of the slap said you feel like Kanye's using Candace was using Kanye as a choking horse for black conservatism. No. Yes and no. Here's the thing. There's no such thing as black conservatism. Are they trying to recruit? Is there a black conservative movement on like YouTube and the Manosphere? Was Kevin Samuels a black conservative? Are they always trying to recruit? Yes. And there will always be a handful of folks that are wired for authoritarianism, that have some internal issues. Maybe it's around their masculinity or femininity. They really aspire to whiteness. They got some internal racism issues. I'll give you that. But the numbers are never gonna really switch. As long as Republicans are openly racist, most black people are gonna be like, hey, y'all are openly racist, so no. Candace Owens is about the bag. All these other black conservatives are about the bag. And they say and do the things they do because it brings them the bag. This is not really a political issue because what are conservative Republican politics? They don't have policies. They don't have ideas. The Democrats don't have great policies or ideas either, but like at least they run on issues. The Republicans just run on, right now the Republican platform is, ooh shit, spitting out my food, getting excited. The Republican platform right now is trans sports, trans kids, and the budget. That's it. And critical race theory. Those are not real issues to most Americans, but they are things that bring the bag. They're things that hype up their voter base who is authoritarian and just, you know, wants to control shit. So no, I don't like Candace Owens is hyping Kanye up to gas that nigga so he buys Parler. Like that is the most, like, if he really buys Parler, so for those who don't know, first off, Candace Owens is married to the man that owns Parler. And Parler is one of the many free speech apps that popped up in the last couple of years from Republicans that we're supposed to be so afraid of because they're gonna grow radicalism, etc. So we shouldn't deplatform people. They are probably growing radical. Let me be fair. They're probably growing radicalism, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't deplatform people because it's small over there. And all of them are losing money. They're all failing. And so Candace Owens, it seems, got Kanye to buy Parler from her husband to bail this motherfucker out. CEO, not owner. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. All I know, it's good for Candace Owens and her husband if Kanye buys that shit because it's still going to flop. But yeah, the black Republicans are not, this is not a real thing. Instark says, a video on not necessarily Kanye and Candace, but how the higher you go, the more excuses for the exploitative capital class seem to become your ideology. AK, I'll allow Jay-Z's recent comments as well. Yeah. The black capitalism, that was one of the things I was trying to lead into with the Obama video, is that like when you're weaned on this black excellence mythology, when that's like something that's drilled into you as a kid, and it makes sense because you get out in the world and you see how white institutions, like the one thing Jay-Z was right about is that white institutions were trying to stop him at every turn until he got enough clout and money to do it all himself. Same thing for Kanye. White institutions were barring him from the places he wanted entry into. Kanye, unfortunately, like Charlemagne the God said something I thought was very pointed, which is that he's never met anyone more hard up for the approval of whiteness than Kanye. That Kanye truly lives and dies by the approval of white audiences and white people. And like if you go back to through Kanye's career, you can kind of see nuggets of that. Like even the switch between college dropout and late registration, the way Kanye talked about hip hop was a little, it was giving some Post Malone vibes. Now we didn't have the context to recognize it then, but in retrospect, like I can kind of see that. And the fact that Kanye's fashion was never urban fashion, it was always urban chic. You hear him and Virgil talk about lifting the palette of taste for people. So like, you know, I don't hate Charlemagne as much as other people. I do understand what other people hate Charlemagne, but Charlemagne always comes through with nuggets, at least when like analyzing like pop culture from a black perspective. The thing with Kanye that like I had that this most recent like moment, because I imagine, I'm not a mental health expert in terms of like diagnoses. I am low-key a mental health, like I have a lot of experience in that field, but I don't know, I'm not gonna diagnose Kanye. But like my perspective is that Kanye gets into spaces where he goes through manias and he doesn't have, because he is bipolar, that is on record. Kanye goes through perspectives where he goes to situations where he goes through manias, and in those manias is when he usually like does all this shit, right? But the thing that I think is important to put out there, especially like from a anti-ableist perspective, is that you can't blame him being anti-black on being mentally unwell. Like, Kanye spits these anti-black talking points. Kanye acts in anti-black ways too effectively. It's too cogent. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is not Kanye accidentally hating black people. This is not Kanye accidentally putting a white supremacist slogan on his back and wearing it to a fashion show. That's not an accident. You know what I'm saying? I have had people tell me that, like, within certain mental crises, people will act in like highly defensive, or they'll act in a manner that rejects caring about other people's feelings. It's just kind of lashing out. And so, like, yeah, maybe a little bit, but overall, no. Kanye just he's just anti-black. He just is. You know what I'm saying? He just is. And so it's not really like, it doesn't make sense to give him a pass on this at this point. This is who Kanye is. And like, cancel culture isn't real, right? But like, I want nothing more than for Kanye's career to stop now. I just want it to be over. Cause it hurts. It hurts. It hurts to keep having to do this with black men, especially from my youth that I admired or appreciated. I keep having to do this shit. And Kanye is probably the most, you know, the one that I take most to heart. But it's nothing. There's no value left here. I'm not buying $400 Yeezy shoes. I'm not listening to his new music, especially because it's not good. I'm not following his persona, and he's doing nothing but harm to the culture. Let this nigga go. Everybody. Stop putting him on. I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy because I was mad at Nori last time. For putting him on Drink Champs and having him ramble and be crazy on Drink Champs. But this time I'm so happy I wasn't the only one that had a negative response to that. And like, knowing that Charlemagne, Puff, LeBron, and all these other entities are like, look, Kanye, we're not talking to you. I hope it continues. I hope it continues. But I know people gonna clout chase and put a camera in front of him. And it seems like this wave is over, but he'll be here again in March. He'll be back in March saying crazy stuff. He did make Graduation, Brett G. I know it hurts. It hurts. But it's time to let go.
When you laid down and I gave you the seam, and I swear I heard God, the voice of Morgan Freeman.